Many people feel a persistent, heavy stagnation, even while checking off every box on your self-improvement list. You might optimize your morning routine or set new goals, yet the underlying feeling of being stuck remains unchanged. Here are two ways to handle stagnation. On the left is the fertilizer path, solving the problem by adding more skills, habits, output. On the right is the fire model, using a controlled burn to remove what is already there. The fire model is a subtractive process. It focuses on dismantling the internal structures you've outgrown to return your identity to a blank slate. To apply this, you need a physical journal or a piece of paper and a pen. We are going to begin a radical reinvention audit. Choosing to start over is a calculated subtraction. It is the specific mechanical step required to exit the constraints of a life you have finished building. Look at your paper and write the words blank slate at the very top. This identifies the specific objective of this audit, total subtraction. Beneath that title, list the defining roles you currently inhabit. This includes professional titles, social expectations, and personal labels like the high achiever, the victim, or the good student. Examine each item on this list. Identify which roles feel heavy, which ones you are maintaining out of habit, and which ones feel like a performance rather than a choice. Now cross through those heavy roles. Cross through the ones that no longer fit. Physically marking the paper signals the start of the detachment process. This creates a specific type of discomfort called honest pain. It is the immediate psychological friction that occurs when you stop relying on an old story to explain who you are. This discomfort is a functional part of the process. It confirms that you are successfully clearing away the psychological deadwood to prepare the ground for what follows. Once you have shed these roles, you enter a period of total emptiness. You are standing in the gap between the person you were and whoever you will become next. Most people fail here because the emptiness feels like a threat. The reflex is to panic and immediately fill the void with a new set of goals or a different career path just to feel busy again. Do not fill the space. Practice sitting in the stillness. Your only task in this phase is to resist taking action. If you can remain still, the panic of self-doubt eventually shifts into a quiet, radiant warmth. The frantic need to be someone begins to fade. You haven't lost yourself in this process. You have simply cleared the canvas of all previous sketches. View this internal silence as a functional requirement. It is the specific environment needed for a new direction to emerge without being drowned out by your old habits. When the noise of those old roles finally stops, you create a silence where a new signal can be heard. This is the arrival of the idea, a replacement for everything you let go of. This isn't a realization you can force through logic or standard career planning. It cannot be found by asking other people for their advice. A true direction does not emerge from a rational pro and con list. It is an intuitive recognition rather than an analytical conclusion. You identify a true direction by 3 traits. First, sudden clarity. You recognize the path immediately without talking yourself into it. Second, total alignment. It bypasses typical rationalization and doubt. Finally, it demands immediate action. It carries an authority that doesn't require outside permission. Moving toward this authentic inspiration replaces your old autopilot routines. You will find that you begin to attract opportunities and people that actually resonate with this new version of yourself. With your new direction established, you move from deconstruction into the active phase of building a reality around that central idea. This process is a repeatable cycle of growth. Burn, bask, birth, build, and begin. It is a framework for evolution rather than a single destination. Each time you complete this loop, you shed a layer of pretense and become a more precise version of yourself. This framework allows you to repeatedly discard the lives you have outgrown until only your core identity remains. You now have a blueprint for radical reinvention. You have the specific steps required to stop maintaining a life that no longer fits you. Executing this process trades the hollow validation of meeting expectations for the freedom of living without a mask. Look at your paper one more time. Look at the list of roles you have already crossed out. identify which of your remaining daily habits or mindsets are still tied to those dead roles. Abandon the model of constant addition. Strike the match and let the outdated life burn.